Hello, and now it's Joe Ventures back again with yet another video. But now we're going to have a look at a lot of the new information that was revealed by an event that happened a couple days ago with famous YouTubers like Best and Slot and Gaming Beaver, where they were able to get more information about what's coming in the next DLC, Jurassic World Evolution: Return to Jurassic Park. Now what I've done here is I've created a little bullet point list where I'm going to go through and have a look at a lot of the new information that we have seen and give my own thoughts and little opinions and things like that, like my other videos, while I'll just have a few screenshots on a slideshow just going through while I talk and give you something nice and pretty to look at. Okay, so now we're going to start with the dinosaur skins. So now the skin selection for these new Jurassic Park skins will be divided into 1993, which is the first Jurassic Park, 1997, which is The Lost World, and 2001, which is Jurassic Park 3. So it'll be very similar to how you select the other skin variants, like Vivid, Rainforest, etc. But you will also be able to view the models in on the the little picture where it shows what the model looks like, so you'll be better able to check if you've got the right one. So that changes as well. And there will be some variations in between them, so there'd be like 1997 A and B, or to give a little bit more variation to the skins there, just for a good example. And you unlock them as you go through the campaign, so it just keeps going as you go through. You'll unlock new things, a lot more research things, a lot more skins. So now, from what we have now, that we know that the Velociraptor gets a 1993 skin, which we've seen a lot, a male and female skin from The Lost World, which means Tiger Raptor's confirmed, along with a 2001 male with quills, and the female. So now everyone was really wondering if these got in, because both of these two groups of skins are both really good. And now it's pretty much been confirmed that they're definitely in the game, which is actually really awesome. And now that we've got T-Rex, T-Rex is getting a 1993 A and B variants, along with a 1997 A and B variants, and 2001 A and B variants. So with 1993, we're getting like two color versions of the one that was seen in the first movie. 1997, I assume we're getting a buck male and a female. In 2001, it'll look more similar to the one that was briefly in 2001 Jurassic Park 3, with the Rex obviously getting murdered by the Spinosaurus. But yeah, that's how it's going with them. And now that we see also Triceratops now, we'll have a 1993 with variants and 1997 with variants. So the trike will have like the 93 one will have like a more bluish version, and you've obviously seen in the pictures that the one that's more covered in dust, so it's like the dusty version. And the 1997 one will look more like the one in The Lost World, with like the more light grey, almost yellowish kind of skin with some stripes going along the back, which is the same one from 2001 as well. So they're both. So pretty much all the skins with some variants are going to be put in. And now we got Ankylosaurus, which is actually only getting a Jurassic Park 3 variant, or 2001 variant, which obviously was probably the best out of all of them. I really liked the Ankylosaurus from Jurassic Park 3. So I'm really cool that's getting in with the dark body and the red face. I'm really happy we're getting that. And the Parasaurolophus is now getting a 1997, which is The Lost World, and 2001, with a few variants. So we'll be getting stuff that's more accurate to the movie, but also some slight color swaps just to add a little more variety in there. And now the Stegosaurus is only getting some variants from the 1997, because it was not in the first Jurassic Park, and the one in 2001 was pretty much the same anyway, so there's no point. So there's just going to be some variants, maybe like lighter or darker, things like that. And now we've got the Brachiosaurus. Brachiosaurus is going to have a few 1993 versions with different colors, like a lighter green, a more darker grey, just more similar, just different, like slight color swap versions, just to add a bit more variation. And also 2001 with the red face and the green body with a couple more variants with that, which I think I really liked. Even though the model in that movie was pretty meh, the Jurassic Park 3 Brachiosaurus had a really cool skin. And now that we know that these 7 animals have been revealed, now we think there's about 10 or so that's getting reworked. But we don't know what exactly those next 3 are. But what we have missing out at the moment is the 1993 Parasaurolophus. Because you didn't really notice much of it in the movie, but it had like this bluish pattern that was really cool, and I hope we get to see. The 2001 Corythosaurus, which is a skin that's not really seen in Jurassic World Evolution, even though it is in there. It's odd that it's a little doesn't really look like it, so we'll have to wait. Another cool one to see would be the 1997 Pteranodon, because that was like had a blue face and a cool crest, and that would be really cool to see if that's like another variation for the Aviaries. I think that would be cool. And now this is one I really, really like, and I really, really want, is a 1997 Mamenchisaurus, because the one in game looks nothing like the one in canon. Because the one in canon had a lot more Diplodocid-like body, and was a lot more dull, like a yellowish green. And that would be really interesting to see if they're willing to go that far in making a new model for an animal like that, because that's one of my favorite dinosaurs in the franchise. And also, the 1993 Gallimimus, I think that's very important, because the one that was in the Jurassic World just looks like garbage, it just looks ugly, but the one in Jurassic Park looks so much more sleek and just so much better looking. So I hope for the next 3 we could potentially get a new Mamenchi, a new Corythosaurus, or a Gallimimus, or any of those 5 that I see there. So I hopefully that happens. I think all of those would be pretty cool to see. I'm sure they want to keep some stuff, either later reveals or keep for surprises in the final release. So I'm sure that that's going to happen. It'll be cool to see. Okay, and now we're going to move on to Compies. So the Compsognathus works like a normal dinosaur. You find it in a couple dig sites, like Sumholfen and another one in France. I'm not sure how to spell or pronounce it. And it will have 5 or 6 different skins, like vivid, things like that. And according to Best Insight, you can barely see them, which is not going to surprise me because it's so small. And it's going to be running around and hiding. It's going to be impossible to dart. It's just going to... We'll have to really be careful about those. And apparently it's going to have new feeding animations, which we saw in the species profile, where it hops on the feeder, grabs some meat, and, you know, like a cat. But it also might have variations where its snout or its body might be covered in blood, with like a nice reddish sheen, so that could be pretty cool to see. And now with the Aviaries, apparently the Aviary is the only thing that you can use in both Jurassic World era and Jurassic Park era. So you can have Pteranodons theoretically on both. And now the Aviaries are basically like a kind of weird hatchery, because you can hatch Pteranodons from the hatchery inside the aviary, and you can fill it up with Pteranodons and then incubate them and release them. And there will be a bunch of skin variants, similar to like vivid rainforest, things like that. And then you can find Pteranodon in a Smoky Hill Formation, which I'm pretty sure is from Kansas in America. Could be wrong. And there'll be like a fixed camera view, like when you see the other dinosaurs come out, Pteranodon will have a camera view, so when it comes out, you look at it, does an animation, flies off. So that would be cool. And you can upgrade the aviary with like a increase with all the different upgrades you can get for the hatchery. You can also get for the aviary, because it's basically just like a weirdly shaped hatchery. so you can incubate faster, increase success rates and things like that. Now, one thing about the aviary is also that you don't need to buy individual food. It just becomes more and more expensive the more and more pteranodons you have. And now there's like, I think about 9 different camera views, so you'll be able to pick different views and move around as you look around in your aviary at the different pteranodons flying around. So that would be really cool to see. And it's on a very slow looped animation, which is, I think that'd disappoint a few people, but from what I've heard, it's really barely noticeable because it's just like so slow, and you only really notice it if you have different skins, so you can actually watch them. So if they all have the same skin, you pretty much lose track of them pretty easily. So I think that's a really cool addition, and I don't mind. And now back to Compy for a little bit. I think there's going to be about 31 to 25 social need and 30 populations. So that means you could have 25 Compies and 5 other dinosaurs, or mix and match. Same with Pteranodons. I'm not sure how much you'll have in the aviary, but I think it's about 30. I guess we'll just have to wait and see about that. And now, for more like general gameplay stuff, apparently you'll have Dr. Grant, Dr. Sandler, and Dr. Malcolm, Mr. Finch, Cabot Finch from the original campaign, and John Hammond giving out missions. There'll be 3 at a time, but they'll like randomly change and select, so you get a mission from Grant. So you could have Grant, Malcolm, Finch, and then in one time you could have Hammond, Dr. Sattler, Malcolm, or something like that. And sometimes if you do one mission, they can increase 2 other rep, and obviously complete missions to unlock things like certain research items and things like that. And now you can get 3 selected at random, of course. And now the goat feeders will have a cage, like in the movie, with a cage that goes down and a pole that's not tied into, but the goat can come up and run away. It's not tied in like the movie, but it's just a quick rework. And now the track works like the truck tour, so you'll be able to take your Ford Explorer vehicles and show them around the park. Very similar to the Jurassic tours from Clay Sanctuary. And the JP gates can replace your tour tracks, so you can place them yourself. And then there'll be binoculars and other unlocks you can get for your tours and your vehicles, like binoculars, night vision, etc. With camera views that are one in the front and a couple in the back, so you get a good panoramic view when you're looking through them. And what's weird is that for some missions you don't actually need hatcheries. Like for the first mission, which has been like Petless and Slot and Gaving Beaver have done videos on, you'll be able to unlock dinosaurs and hatch them from the visitor center. So the visitor center and some of the buildings are a lot more condensed. So like Jurassic Cafe is kind of like the only food and drink one you have, and then you have like the bunkers, and it's a lot more condensed, but I think it makes it a lot easier, so you don't have to place so many different types of buildings. And plus you don't need to place a research building and a fossil expedition and things, so because it's all lumped into this giant visitor center, so that makes everything a lot easier. And Sauna, apparently, because we have seen the Isla Nublar map, it's a very big wide map which looks really cool. So Sauna has like 3 smaller areas with mountains in the middle, kind of like the original, of course. But I think they just kind of doubled down because no one likes those mountains in the middle. It's kind of annoying. But I think they just wanted to do that just as a little troll, but that's okay. The new Nublar map, though, is very huge, and I think a lot of people are going to love it. It's just so huge, and it's got all sorts of different buildings and stuff that I think a lot of people will be keen to use. And now the redwoods will not be present on Sauna, but you'll be able to place them as items like you will with the trees and the rocks, so they're like a new tree set. Now there's a lot of new paths and stuff, like from what I've seen in Best in Slots video, you can have like one for specific species in the park, like Brachiosaurus, Tyrannosaurus, Velociraptor, but there's also more general ones like Ceratopsids, Sauropod, medium carnivore, large carnivore, which can be used as more general when you have like in a sandbox where you can have all the species, for example. So I think that's pretty cool. And then there's also like the raptor pen, which is a cool building, and it's cool decoration. And there's also more signs like to dock this way, that way. There's lights as well that you can use to light up your park. It'd be really interesting to get some Jurassic World variants in a Jurassic World DLC, hopefully coming up. I think that would be cool to see. I just wonder why this is not playing. We'll just skip to the next slide. That's fine. The video's almost. Anyway, I thought it would have like all sorts of different, but that's alright. Fewer buildings, yeah, the Worthwhile already covered that, and there's going to be 3 new fences. The 3 new fences we're going to get is like a electrified cable fence, which is very similar to what we have, and then we have a very heavy steel fence, which looks like the one that was based in Jurassic Park 3, where you have the Spinosaurus breaking in, and that's really all that's about I can say. My personal opinion is that this looks like it's going to be a really cool DLC. I just hope that we get a nice Momentosaurus and a Gallimimus, because even though the skins are okay, they just don't look nothing like their in-canon counterparts. So that's so if I don't get those, I'm a little disappointed, but it'll be really interesting to see what missions we'll have, because apparently what's going on is you'll have 2 missions on Isla Nublar, then you'll have 4 on Isla Sorna, then you go back to Nublar. So it's very interesting to see how the story works. Obviously, there was no spoilers giving out, and I don't have any spoilers, because this event, I obviously, not being a huge YouTuber, did not have access to, but I think it was very cool to see what we got out of that. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that we missed. No, I don't think so. Well, thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe, of course, and I'll see you next time we get any updates, or I hope to get some Planet Zoo stuff out soon. And cheers, and thank you. Like and subscribe, and goodbye.